Hello everybody, how's it going? Ben Gothard here, founder of Project Egg. And today I want to talk about dabbling and how dabbling is actually the worst thing that you can do for your business. Now, why do I want to talk about this today? Well, I just got off a coaching call with one of my clients and I was talking to him about a certain business model that he was working on. I'll just go ahead and share with you. He's doing some affiliate marketing, and so I was helping him with his content distribution. And we were talking about how he was going to get his content out there, some ways that he can market it, and how he was going to start leveraging video more. Because, as you can tell, I'm a very big proponent of video, and I think video is a very strong strategy for getting content out there. And one of the things that we were talking about in the middle of the coaching call was he asked me a question. He is like, "Hey man, what about Shopify and ecom? How about that? Maybe I could try that." And it was towards the end of the call, and I had to like take a breath for a second and think back to when I was, first starting out and how I was trying this and that, the other thing. And, we had just done all this work and I was like, wait, why do you want to, just go from everything we just did to a completely new thing? And, it kind of hit me that that's exactly what I did when I was first starting out. So I wanted to make this video to clear it up, and I want to clear it up kind of the same way that I talked to him about it, and the same thing that I shared with him. And what I told him was that dabbling is the absolute worst thing that you can do for your business, because he's been doing affiliate marketing for probably 3 to 6 months now. And so I just asked him, I said, how far have you gotten in affiliate marketing in these past 3 to 6 months? And he said, I've gotten pretty far. I learned how to do it. I learned how to, pick an offer and drive a little bit of traffic to it and make a couple sales. And I was like, okay, think of how much more advanced you are now than when you started. And he kind of thought on it for a second. And I said, now think about going to something entirely different. There's a completely different business model from affiliate marketing, where you don't have your own product and you're not handling any of the shipping and the fulfillment and the customer service, where you're making the sale and driving the traffic, versus something like ecom, where you absolutely have to worry about your customer service and you have to deal with the product, and there are going to be returns and there are going to be refunds, and you still have to drive the traffic, but you have all these other things to worry about. And I was like, look, you don't want to, I would recommend that you don't spread yourself too thin in this area. And the reason is because you spent so much time developing the skill of affiliate marketing and developing the skills surrounding it that you need to get better at affiliate marketing. So you're working on becoming a better salesman because you have to sell the other products. You're working on finding good deals. So you're sharpening your critical thinking skills. You're working on your people skills to work with these other companies, and you're thinking about the value of your own time, and all these different things that are kind of specific to affiliate marketing. You're learning these things, and you're investing so much of your time into this. You're honing your skills. You're getting very specific. You're niching down. That's great. Now think if you were to take all of that work and you kind of put that on hold, or maybe you stopped growing here in order to put some more effort into growing a new thing over here. And I was just trying to explain to him that when you have all of your efforts focused on one thing, you can flex on that one thing. You can be amazing at that one thing, and you can give it everything that you've got. You can give it your 100% focus. But the second that you start dabbling in this thing and doing that thing and working on this and starting this business and that business, that's when you spread yourself too thin. That's when you don't give yourself the ability to be great at one thing, because you're just okay at a couple different things, right? And so that was kind of the core message that I was trying to tell him, was that, at least in my opinion, focusing on one thing focusing on one thing and being the best in the world at that one thing is going to get you a lot further than being okay at a bunch of different things. And yeah, he definitely could have. I mean, he's a very driven person. He could have started his own e-com store, and I would have helped him get that set up and helped him with the traffic and all this, that, and the other thing, and he would have been able to do it. But what I was telling him was that instead of trying to do an e-com store and your affiliate marketing and your personal branding and all these different things, just pick one. Just pick one, and until you're making at least $5,000 to $10,000 a month, just focus on that one thing. On that one thing. Because those skills that you master in order to get to that 5 to 10K, and let's just say 10K a month, to get to that, you gotta be really good at the things that you do. And you gotta have some serious skills. You gotta develop those skills. And so what I was telling him was that I would really like to see him be more successful in a shorter amount of time than I have been. Because I've made more mistakes than probably anybody on the face of the planet. I'll be the first one to admit it. I have made so many mistakes as an entrepreneur. And that is exactly what I was trying to tell him. I was like, look, dude, when I first started, I started a social media marketing company. I started writing books like crazy. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 6 books. I've written and published 15 books total. There are 9 more books that I've written in addition to these 6. Okay? So I was doing my social media marketing company. I was writing books. I was putting out videos. I was doing Project Egg and creating content through Project Egg and networking with different people and trying to build that community and trying to work on my website and Gothard Enterprises website and the Project Egg website. And then I started a couple Shopify stores in the meantime. And then on top of all that, I was trying to go to school. And all of those different things I was good at, but I wasn't allowing myself to be great at any one of them because I was spread too thin. And I dabbled in here and here and here and here, and it slowed me down because, one, I was making a little bit of progress in a lot of things all at once, so it was just a lot slower of a progression. But also, the skills that I was using for all these different things were not always complementary. They were not always complementary, and so I was trying to develop too many different skills at once, and I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to become very, very successful in one thing, in one specific thing. Now, luckily, I've since realized that, okay? And so now my focus is 150% on Project Egg. And I have literally been turning down other opportunities and other projects left and right since I graduated. And even before then, months before then, and I'll put everything else on hold because Project Egg is my number one priority. But, I was just trying to convey that to him, and it really got me thinking about how many other people are struggling with that same thing. How many other people are getting down a certain path, maybe 3 to 6 months down, and not seeing the results that they had hoped for when they first started, and then saying, okay, well, I've been doing this for 3 months, 6 months, and I'm not a millionaire yet, so let me just go do this other thing. Just completely different thing, and just kind of leave this thing on pause, or even digress a little bit. The opposite of progress. And that is one of the biggest messages that I think people starting out need to hear, is that it is absolutely okay to not get as far as you think you will in the beginning. Okay? If you want to start a YouTube channel and you put out 30 videos, chances are you're not going to be famous yet. You're not going to be the next Casey Neistat in the first 30 videos. If you are, that's great. That's fantastic, and best of luck. I hope that you continue seeing that success. But for most people, it's not like that. And even if you were a rock star in high school, or just an amazing athlete and you're very, very gifted and you're very talented, you're very smart. I'm not trying to detract from any of these things, but what I'm saying is the same rules are going to apply to you. The same rules are going to apply to everybody, right? And so I struggled with this too. I thought that I could do it all, and I thought that I could do everything, and that I'd be a total exception to the rule, and that I could dabble in as many things as I wanted to, and it'd be fine. But reality check, I needed to focus in, and that was a mistake that I made that I don't want to see other people make, right? That was one mistake that I made. Now, I've learned a lot from it, and I would never say that I would want to go back and change any of the things that I've done, because now I'm the person that I am today because of the things that I've done in the past. And I'm very happy with who I am today, and I'm very happy with my business and where it's going, and everything about my life. I'm happy about it. I always want to improve, but I'm just a happy person in general. But to those people who have yet to make those mistakes, listening to the advice of people who have already made the mistakes and are saying, hey, watch out for that, that can be really helpful to you and your business. That can help you cut down that learning curve and excel much more quickly than other people, right? And the reason that I wanted to talk about this today, and let me caveat this by saying, I'm sure I'm going to make more mistakes in the future. Like, that's a 100% chance. There's a 100% definite chance that it's a certainty that I'm going to make more mistakes in the future. And I will always try to share those, right? But this is one mistake that I've made. Now I've noticed it, and I'm like in real time correcting that mistake. Like, I'm actively thinking to myself every day, what am I doing that is helping me build Project Egg, and what is not? And the things I'm doing that are helping me build Project Egg, let me keep doing those things. And the things that are not helping me build Project Egg, I need to either outsource them or stop doing them, or shelve them for now and come back to them later. Am I saying that I'm finished writing forever? Absolutely not. I have a very strong passion for writing, and I love to write. That was the reason that CEO at 20 was such an important thing to me, and it took me a year to write this book. And I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about writing. I'm very passionate about a lot of things. I'm sure you are too. I'm sure you have a lot of passions. I'm sure that there are a lot of things that you want to go out and pursue. But what I would say at the end of the day is that it's more important to focus on one thing and get it right. And get that one thing right and become successful doing that one thing. Figure out why you are successful. Like, actually figure out why you're successful. You may know how to keep being successful, but until you figure out why you are successful, I would say keep going at it and keep trying to figure out why you're successful. And once you know exactly why, and you can teach it to other people, and you can take somebody who knows nothing, and you can share with them your why of why you became successful, and exactly how you did it, and you can have them become as successful as you, and you can replicate that. Keep doing it, and keep trying to figure that out, and keep trying to progress and understand what is making you tick and what is making you successful, and how all the things that you're doing are working together to deliver the results that you're getting. Because there are a lot of different things that go into business. And I'll give you one example of what I mean. Facebook advertising, okay? That's one thing that I've been working on for 3 years now. It's one of the few constants that I've had throughout my whole entrepreneurial career, is I've always worked with Facebook ads. And I can tell you there are so many different things that go into a Facebook ad. For example, there is the targeting. There is the offer. There is the actual creative, the graphic of it, the copy. There's the budget. There's the schedule. There's the call to action. There's the different post types, the different campaign objectives. Then whatever you're sending that traffic to, okay, let's say you're driving traffic from Facebook to your website. Well, that's a whole different beast, because you have to be consistent from that Facebook ad to your website. And the prospect has to feel very at ease with making that transition from Facebook to website. And just in that Facebook ad alone, right? And let's cut it down to as basic as we can. The product, the targeting, and the ad itself, the creative, right? These are three humongous variables that take time and money to test. So if it takes time and money to test these three variables, and you're not exactly sure which variable is working with each one in each way, and this is just one tiny sliver of your marketing strategy, and that's just your marketing strategy and your entire business strategy, which is part of your life strategy, and that one thing is so complicated. Like, think of how many different variables there are moving at any one time in your life and in your business. Think of all those things at once. It's kind of overwhelming if you think of all of it at once, right? So that's why it takes so much time to really get good at one thing. It's because you have to in my opinion, you have to mess up enough times to where you figure out why you're messing up, where you're messing up, and how to fix it, okay? And once you can fix it, and you can really start progressing and moving forward, and then figure out why the things that you're doing are working, and you can replicate that, that is when I would say it would even be a question of, okay, what do I want to move on to next? What do I want to apply the skill set to next, right? Because let's say you're starting a business and you have a product and you're obsessed with marketing it, and you go through all these different types of channels. You do Snapchat, you do Instagram, you do Pinterest, you do Facebook, and let's say you just so happen to hit on Google AdWords, and you learn everything that is possible about Google AdWords. Well, that same skill set is there. And then it's not a question of how do I sell this thing? It's a question of what do I want to sell? Right? You see that difference? It's not how do I sell this? It's what do I want to sell? And so once you have that core competency, and I know I'm jumping around to a lot of different things, but it all comes back to dabbling. But once you have that core competency in that first venture that you do, or that first skill, that core competency in that first skill that you develop through your first venture, that skill is something that nobody can take away from you. And it's the skills that are important. It's the skills that are important, right? I mean, if you take away everything from a person, you take away all their resources, you take away all their connections, you take away everything, but they still have the skills, then they can recreate it, and they can get back to where they were before. So the reason that I think it's so important not to dabble and to focus in on one thing, become a master at one thing, is because once you do become a master at something and you have learned that skill set and you have mastered that skill set, you can then take that skill set and apply it to different things. And so in this call with my client today, what I was telling him was, look, focus on affiliate marketing. Don't do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. Focus on the thing that you've already started doing. Focus on the thing that you're working on so diligently, and get really good at it. Work on your marketing. Work on your salesmanship. Build out a full website. Work on the whole funnel and everything in with the perspective or through the lens of affiliate marketing. And once you've got it down and you've mastered it, then you take those skill sets that you developed in order to achieve that one specific goal, and then you can decide what else you want to apply your skill sets to. And it's not a matter of how can I make money? It's a matter of how do I want to apply my skill sets to make money? What do I want to apply my skill sets to in order to make money? Where do I want to deploy my skills, right? And so at the end of the day, it's the people that we are. It's the people that we become. It's the things that nobody else can take away from us that matter. It's who we are. It's those skills. Okay? That is what's important. And that is why I think it is so fundamentally necessary to stick to one thing and not to dabble. So the takeaway from this video is to keep doing what you're doing if it's working. Keep doing what you're doing if it's working. If it's not working, maybe you want to pivot, right? I'm not saying to keep doing the same thing over and over again if it's not working, right? But learn from your mistakes and keep going, and don't give up on the thing that you're trying to do, right? There's a difference between continuing to try the same thing over and over and over and over again and getting the same result because you're doing the same thing. That's totally different than picking one niche or industry and sticking to that long enough to where you get good enough to become an expert in that industry and develop the skill sets that you need to dominate. Okay? There's a quote out there, I don't know who said it, but it goes, we as entrepreneurs need to be rigid in the problems we're trying to solve, but flexible in how we solve them. Okay? We need to be rigid in the problems that we're trying to solve, but flexible as to how we solve them. So it doesn't matter if you're focusing on if you're trying to focus on the marketing of your product, and you have to try so many different things in marketing until you finally get it, and then you dive deep into that one and you master one aspect of marketing. Let's say you want to master Facebook ads or you master Instagram. It doesn't matter which one you master, but pick one and stick with it until you master it. Okay? Don't dabble. I'm telling you, I've made that mistake. I don't want to see you make that mistake. I want you to be successful. And at the end of the day, dabbling will not help you become successful. It will only prolong your success. Take it from somebody who has dabbled way too much in his lifetime. Okay? So I hope this has been helpful, and I will talk to you very soon.